The Roth IRA was created by the rich to get richer, but it's also a hidden gem that allows the poor to build wealth and break out of the cycle. I'm going to explain why Roth IRA is greater than all the other ways to invest and show you how you can realistically become a millionaire at 50 after opening a Vanguard Roth IRA. I'll explain how you can withdraw money to buy a house and build real wealth, breaking out of the paycheck to paycheck cycle for generations to come. There are two ways to invest for retirement: with money before you pay taxes and with money that you already pay taxes on. If you invest before you pay taxes, it lowers your taxable income now with the assumption that when you start using the money later, that's when you'll pay taxes on it. If you invest after you pay taxes, you are done and your money will grow tax-free. And this is how retirement investing is different from your regular brokerage account, where you invest your after-tax money and then have to pay capital gains taxes on the growth. The first case lowers your taxes now, and the second lowers your taxes later. Very generally speaking, and I mean it, don't take this as tax advice because it depends on your specific situation now and expectations for the future. So very generally speaking, the first case is good for those whose income is high, and the second option is better for those whose income is low. The first category are your 401k, your IRA, and the second category is your Roth IRA and your Roth 401k. Roth IRA and Roth 401k share the same tax-free withdrawal benefit, but they have key differences. A Roth 401k allows much higher contributions limit. A Roth IRA has income restrictions for contributions, while Roth 401k have no income limits. Anyone with access to one, usually through their employer, can contribute. Roth 401ks can receive employer matches, but the match goes into the pre-tax traditional 401k, meaning it will be taxed later. Unlike a Roth IRA, which allows you to withdraw contributions anytime, a Roth 401k restricts access to contributions and earnings until certain conditions are met. And here's the biggest one. Roth 401ks require required minimum distributions to start at 73, while Roth IRAs have no required minimum distributions, allowing tax-free growth indefinitely. For this video, we're focusing on the Roth IRA. There's no age limit to open a Roth IRA as long as you have earned income. And for that, the age minimum in the US is 14. You can open a custodial Roth IRA for your child if you're paying them out of your business, and the process would be very similar. With a $7,000 per year contribution, it will take you 9 years to get to your first $100,000. If you start at 18, you'll have your first $100,000 by 27. If you keep going with $7,000 contributions annually, by 50, you'll have $1 million. Of this million, you only pay taxes on about a quarter of it, only the $7,000 per year that you've contributed, and your nearly $800,000 is tax-free. The growth comes from money being invested in the broad market index. Vanguard has some great options of balanced funds, and I'll give you a step-by-step on how to open a Roth IRA with Vanguard and pick the right fund. Many of you will say that $1 million is not enough to retire, and I agree, so let's keep going until we're 65. That's $3.5 million. At this point, you can stop contributing, and if you spend less than $100,000 per year, your money will grow faster than you can spend it. You probably know that you cannot touch your growth until you reach 59.5, but you can withdraw your own contributions anytime. So let's say at 35, you want to buy a house, and if average US housing costs $500,000, you want to put a $50,000 down payment. At this time, by 35, you've contributed $126,000, so you can definitely take that 50. You can withdraw that money from your Roth IRA with no penalties and no taxes because you've already paid taxes on it. After that, if you continue with the $7,000 a year contributions, this withdrawal for the down payment only delays your first million by 2 years. So yes, there are no penalties, but you're taking away from capital. Technically, you can withdraw for anything, but if you continue taking from your capital, the growth will slow down. I think many finance experts would agree that a down payment on a house is probably the only acceptable use case to withdraw from your Roth IRA. Okay, I hope by now you are sold on opening a Roth IRA, but probably think it's impossible on a low salary. So let me show you how I would break down a monthly paycheck of an average US salary of $66,000 per year. Tax on this amount would be approximately 20%, so this leaves you with $4,370 per month. Here's what I would do. I would split my expenses into the non-negotiables and into the rest of the expenses. In the non-negotiables category is your rent. Here I went with the higher end of the US average, but I definitely think you can figure out a cheaper option. Your Roth IRA, that's the amount you need per month to end up with $7,000 a year, and $200 in savings. Ideally, this should be at least 10%, so $400 for a total closer to $5,000 per year. But we're prioritizing, and this is what I would do here. This will give you $2,400 per year to use for vacations, birthday parties for your kids, Christmas presents, and stuff like that. Remaining expenses are your debt payments if you have any, transportation, food, and spending money. You got almost $1,600 to budget among all of it. A lot of people will end up cutting back on their non-negotiables to make the ends meet, thinking that they just need to survive for now. But that will only keep you stuck in the paycheck to paycheck cycle. Instead of settling for less, if $1,500 is not enough to cover all your expenses, figure out a way to make more money. Take on a second job, work extra hours, or learn a new skill to qualify for a high-paying job. If you are a first-generation wealth creator, the sooner you realize that there are no shortcuts, no fake money investments or lottery tickets, the easier it will be to focus on the things that actually build lasting wealth. So how do you open a Vanguard Roth IRA and what do you invest in? Go to Vanguard.com, select Personal Investors, and select Open an Investment Account. You will be using money from your own bank, you'll be managing it on your own, and you'll select a Roth IRA account. If at some point you want to open a non-retirement account, you'll log in and go through the same steps, but instead choose to open an individual brokerage account. From there, you'll have to follow the prompts to finalize opening your account and verify that the checking account you're linking to is actually yours. This is not investing yet. Once you're in, let's figure out what to invest in. Let's go to products and services. An index fund is a product that Vanguard offers along with other investment products, and you can educate yourself here. Index fund is a form of a mutual fund that follows a market index as compared to an actively managed mutual fund, or a combination of AI and real people make selections for a fund. Actively managed mutual funds are more expensive because the fund selection process is more involved than just mirroring an index. If you're investing for retirement, one of the simplest options is to choose a target retirement fund based on the year you plan to retire. Today is 2025, so for someone who will retire in 40 years, that's 2065. You want to find a fund with low expense ratio, and it's 0.08% here. You want to find 10% or higher returns, and here's the return from last year and the last 5 years, and a minimum investment that you can afford. Here it's $1,000. You'll need to save up that $1,000 before you can buy it. When setting up automated transfers, make sure that they go into your target retirement fund or whatever fund you select, not into your settlement account, an easy mistake that I've made myself. Now let's click here and buy this fund. You'll follow the prompts to complete the transaction. You can buy it straight from your checking account or transfer to your settlement account first and then buy from there. If you're new to Vanguard, the account structure may be unclear. So to help you understand, a Vanguard settlement account is like a Vanguard parking spot for your money. It's usually a money market fund that holds any cash that you haven't invested yet, collects money when you sell investments, and is used to buy new investments in your Vanguard account. This is all to minimize the number of times you'll transfer money between Vanguard and your checking. This account earns close to what your HISA earns, and at the time of recording this video, the rate was 4.24%, and this rate varies daily. All right, that's the end of this video. If you have any unanswered questions about this video or any other ideas that you'd like me to make a video about, please drop a comment below. Thank you so much for being here. I'll see you next week.